if you don't own an edge, you're sort of middleware. You're stuck in a relatively unattractive sector. And so you think about where's the data in enterprise software? Well, the Salesforces of the world, the large enterprise companies have a lot to just bolt AI onto. So Dropbox and Salesforce and everybody are just layering on AI with a sort of leg up to start with the data set to build right off of for the customers. So we've avoided enterprise software, we've avoided vertical apps in that mainstream and sort of the center of the herd because it's not clear the dimension that's going to win there. Instead, we've been investing more in infrastructure, edge AI, and weird stuff. And we make improvements for the last 12 years have been about 2x per year on top of that. So 4x, that's basically low-hanging fruit that's, we don't know how long this will keep going, where you just make advances. Think of it like chess playing software. It gets better and better and better over a number of decades. Same as happening in these models. You have state space models, you have all kinds of improvements. So the transformer itself was a big improvement in the last sort of 7 or 8 years, and there's more to come, right? There's symbolic reasoning, all kinds of stuff in the labs. So this human ingenuity, you could say, on the process of creation gives you another 2x, and then you just have a flooding of capital. This is like about a 2.5x per year. Again, compounded for 12 years now, it adds up. So you've had a net of all those, 10x per year, every year, and the size of the cutting edge models, it's been for a dozen years now, right? So this is well over 1,000x improvement. That's those two layers.
These are hockey sticks.
Yeah, and then there's all the verticals. In robotics, like you mentioned, in life sciences, about a third of all life sciences investment is AI related. So like that's a big area as well. And frankly, in all kinds of weird niches. Like we have a company doing next generation lithography, like how you make chips. They rely on AI to figure out mask design. Like basically, we look for places where you couldn't have done this business before if it weren't for AI. And that's, in our mind, the most compelling place to start. Me and the CEO, but there's almost always another lieutenant there at the very beginning who's a sort of almost a cognitive counterpoint. Think of Jobs and Wozniak, an introvert. Exactly, an engineering and marketing person with mutual respect. It sort of builds a good founding DNA for a company. So one of the meta answers to your question is there cognitive diversity in the team, and have they been able to attract some of the best and brightest to join them in the early days? So the best way to judge a startup pre-product release is the rate at which talent flocks to the project.
Yeah.
Like, do people want to join this? That is a better job than anything I could do on evaluating the team and the idea. The second thing is that we look for cognitive flexibility. Things change a lot. So you mentioned Zyphra. Zyphra is like an insane example of this, where they have gone through so many different variations of where the opportunity in the market is, and the teams that they've hired have shifted that over time. They've had all kinds of things about reinventing backpropagation as an underlying functional layer, doing active inference, doing quantum machine learning, like it went all over the map. And over time, I gotta say, they avoided a lot of pitfalls in the back and forth, like little dongle devices like not HumanX, but like Human, the company that was recently went under. So flexibility, the nimbleness, and the willingness to realize what they don't know. And then I find a polymathic background, basically having done a lot of different things. And Naveen is a great example. Over first Nirvana, the chip company sold to Intel, and then was a infrastructure company sold to Databricks. He has a neuroscience background coupled with computer science that is insane foundation for understanding these neural nets. There really are cross-pollination of learning between life sciences and the architectures of what we build, the artifacts of creation. And so he's been able to analyze both when he was at Intel, the entire landscape of AI hardware, and come up with ideas others didn't have. But in both cases that you mentioned, very nimble in terms of, even within a 1 or 2 year period, 4 or 5 different major pivots in what the major focus of the company is. Stepping back, one of the most amazing things about Elon is the flock of talent that joins a mission. Right? But not only a company that's trying to do something good in the world, but a mission that is understandable, can be related to all. And there's a big picture of Mars that meets every employee at SpaceX when they walk in the front door, and it's been up there for decades. It's like from the beginning, we're going to colonize Mars. Having a truth-seeking AI at XAI is strangely differentiating from all other AI companies, which is kind of surreal. It's like, we're going to seek truth. No one else is doing that. Like, that's green space.